Look, I get it. You're busy, I'm busy. Tim over there, he's really busy. But having said that, seriously, Chad, what? I mean, you're killing me here with this website. I mean, it's literally a piece of crap. I've never seen anything so bad. And look, I love you, man, but for fuck's sake, you're spending a lot of money for what? You're not getting any return on your investment. I wonder why. Maybe it's your half-assed website. All right, let's get into it after this, and we'll talk more about Chad's half-assed website and why he's not getting what he wants. I'll see you after the break. My buddy Chad the other day, and he was bitching and moaning as usual. He's a handful. I have a lot of handful friends, don't I? And he was complaining about his website. He was like, oh, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, I'm not getting anything that I want out of it, I'm not getting the return on my investment, and I've spent a lot of money on this for what? Now, I don't know how much money Chad has spent on it. It's none of my business how much Chad has spent on it. And what happens is, much like all of us, we need to save, all right? We need to cut money and save where we can. So we tend to sort of take shortcuts that we probably shouldn't have taken. And look, Chad's a great guy and he does a lot of great things. And, his site could be driving business to him in a way that makes sense, that gets him the ROI he needs, gets him the consumers that he's looking for if he'd actually put some time and money and effort into it, all right? And now, the problem Chad has is he used an out-of-the-box website. He's following one of those templates from one of those domain name places that have 3 letters and kind of offer you a free low-cost template website. Great. Hey, look, I understand it. It's great. We all want to cut corners and we all need simple solutions to help us. None of us, I mean myself included, I'm really a web designer. So we choose what we can to get what we need to get done. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean that you need to do it sloppy. That doesn't mean that you need to go through it half-assed. And one of the big issues I have with Chad's website, one of the big issues I have with a lot of small business, home business, and solo business websites is that it's sloppy. You're not a website designer. The templates can be very confusing. The challenge I have with templates is I'm a designer, and templates kind of force me into fitting into a situation and fitting into a way that they want me to fit that doesn't make sense with my design. Like I don't want the column on the left. I want the column in the, like those types of things. I'm pretty particular about how I want things structured, and sometimes templates don't give me all of that. And the other side with templates is it looks and feels like a template. I feel like, there's so many times where I can go to a small home or solo business website and I'm not sure who I'm at because it looks exactly like everybody else's website. And that doesn't do anything for you. That doesn't do anything to help you separate you out. And that is the key about having a website. It is going to be, for most of us, the only sales and marketing tool that we have. It is the only way that we have to really kind of engage customers and get to connect with them. And you're gonna hear me say it a lot. I say it a lot in person. I guess I'm gonna say it a lot through this video, and I'm gonna say it a lot going forward, is for most of us, like your business card, your website is the only thing that a consumer is going to know about you. It's the only thing that they're going to see about you. So they are going to make a purchasing decision based on your website, based on your business card, because until they can really get to know you and come in and see you and those types of things, they're not going to really know who you are. They're not going to like what they have. They need to take that next step further. And if your website and business card aren't giving them the incentive to take the next step, well, then they're just going to move on to the person that does, obviously. Now, getting back to the sloppy thing, the big thing that annoys me, especially with Chad's website, and a good portion of us, is, yes, it's a template. And it's really great because they give you space for social media, contact information, phone number, all of that. Some of these templates are pretty robust, and they're pretty, sometimes I've looked at some of them and I'm like, hey, that's not too bad of a template. Maybe I'll think about it. Because you're busy and you don't have the time and the energy to put into it, you do the minimum amount to get it up and running, all right? And what happens is they don't change the social media connections. They don't change the contact information. They don't change any of the vital information that a consumer needs in order to contact them. So if you go to one of these websites, and this happened a lot when I would want to follow them on Facebook. So I would hit the Facebook icon and it would take me to the domain registrar or the domain hosting website. I'd click the email and it would take me to the domains hosting or domain sites email. And that's not helping you in any way, shape, or form. That's not really getting you what you need to, because nobody can contact you. Nobody can get in touch with you. And that is advice. That is, if there's one thing on your website that you need to focus on, it's ensuring that people can contact you, that people can get to you and purchase, make sales, ask questions, find out the solutions that they're looking for with their problems, all of that. And if your website doesn't do that, then you're not really there's no point in having it, to be honest with you. All right. The other problem that most small businesses have is they don't go back and refresh them. They don't go back and update them. They put it up, they let it go, they put some content, they put some great pictures, probably stock photos, which you can probably find on 5 other sites, and they don't really move the website further. Your website is a living, breathing thing. It is an entity, and it needs to be taken care of. It needs to be treated well. It needs to be maintained. So that means every once in a while going back in and updating things. And you go to Chad's website and he's got employees listed there that don't work there and haven't worked there for at least a year. So it looks bad. Somebody calls up and asks for Joe and you're like, oh, Joe hasn't been here for a year. That really sets some trust issues in the consumer's mind. Well, if they can't even update their website, what are they doing over there? So it needs to be maintained. And what needs to happen is, and again, I know we're all busy. Hey, look, if you go to my website right now, it is definitely in need of some refreshing. It needs some updating. And I totally understand that. I totally own that. And I understand that part of my problem in engagement could be that I'm not addressing things on the website. All right. If your business is a living, breathing entity that's always growing, always changing, always developing, your website should move along with that. But that means money. That's going to be expensive, right? And none of us have money, particularly after a global pandemic and with inflation and supply chain issues and all of the other lovely stuff happening. Who's got money to maintain a website? Okay. All of us are kind of treading water. We're kind of trying to keep our heads above water so that we can survive for another day. We're not even looking for a week. We're just looking for a day. I just want to make it till tomorrow. And then tomorrow I will deal with whatever I need to deal with then. And we'll move forward from there. But it gets expensive. And I get it. Like if you were to hire, a professional web designer, you're talking a couple of grand. And then every time you want to update or change it, they're going to charge you to do that. And it's just cost upon cost upon cost. And again, it comes back to the website owner. It comes back to Chad, because if Chad isn't writing content, like somebody can write content for you, and there are plenty of copywriters out there that will write content for you. Again, it's going to cost you. And you can kind of tell them what you want in the content, but unless it comes from you, it's like, it's just not going to feel right. It's not going to sound like you. It's not going to be correct. It's not going to sell the business the way that it needs to be sold. Only you can sell your business. Only you can sell it, because only you are super freaking excited about it. You know the ins and the outs. You know everything that needs to be said to a consumer. And do not trust a copywriter to do that. You can give them a rough outline that they can go from there. I'm not saying don't use a copywriter. I don't want any copywriter comments. Use a copywriter if you want to, but you need to lead the train. You need to be the conductor and not the copywriter, okay? Because then unless the copywriter is a customer of yours or deeply involved in the business, they are not going to know the beats to hit. They are not going to know the points to hit that will engage your consumer, your ideal, your right consumer. All right, your super fans, your casual consumers. That needs to happen. You need somebody that can write copy, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to be you, that can really sell the business. All right, that's priority number one. That's got to happen more than anything else. The other side of it is you need to make sure that the images reflect your business. Okay, and I get it. Look, I use a lot of stock images. But my business is me. Like, there's only so much you can look at me, right? Like, I know I slap my face on everything. I know I'm like constantly got my kisser on stuff, but that's because my business is me. If I'm selling gift baskets, if I'm selling, auto repair, do not use stock photos. All right. However, don't use crappy photos from your iPhone or your Galaxy, whatever it is. Do not use mobile pictures unless you're going to spend some time cropping and adjusting and fixing them. You're going to make sure that the lighting is proper, all of those things. And that was one of the things that used to drive me crazy when I was running the design office was I would always have these consumers who were trying to save money. And in doing so, they would take pictures, for their brochures, for their website, for whatever it was that we were doing, whatever project, with their phones. And we're talking, like before, the iPhone 13 with like all the great stuff on it. We're talking like, back in the days, like 2010, 2011, this time. So, where the photos were okay, but they weren't great. They were not high-res photos. And they would be crooked. There would be a shadow across somebody. There would be, color would be off, whatever it was. And 9 times out of 10, it took me like 2 days to get it to a place where it could even be somewhat usable. Or I guess what I'm saying is in a way to kind of give you some, not just kind of like throw out everything that's wrong with Chad's website and some of these other websites. What you can do, and I profess this a lot, and I used to try and get my students to do it when I was teaching design, was you can find someone that's in college, you can find someone that's a recent grad, you can find a startup business that does any of the things that you need: photography, design, websites. You do have to pay them. You do have to pay them. You cannot give it to them for free. You cannot barter for them. You do need to pay them. Now, a startup web design company is probably not going to charge you the thousands of dollars that the established web design company is going to charge you, and that's okay. That's fine. They're going to do it for the exposure. They are going to do it to build up their portfolio. They are not going to do it for free. Okay, not going to do it for free. No way, no how. And you, as the business owner, should respect that. You need to make sure that they get, a fair value for what they're offering. You could have a photographer come in. I knew plenty of photographers that would charge $500 for a full 8-hour, 1-day shoot. Then you get to pick the pictures. They will do the touch-up, the refix, all of that. And the thing is, a full 1-day shoot, if you're ahead of the game enough, you can plan out, okay, for the next 6 months, we're going to need these kinds of photos. Or, hey, spend a day in my life and just follow me around the shop taking pictures, whatever. But a flat fee where you can kind of build up a bank of product is going to be much easier for you. And again, students would be happy to help you with it. And again, you got to pay. All right? So I guess where all this is going and kind of bringing this home is there is no reason that anybody should have a half-assed website unless you're Chad. I mean, Chad kind of deserves it. But what you need to do is look at your site, assess it, and see if it's really being the tool that you need it to be, because that's ultimately what it is. It's a tool for you to grow your business. And if it's not working right, if it's not doing its job, it needs to be fixed and changed. So we're going to bring it home. What I'm saying in all of this is, and I say this too, it's another one of those things that's like another dog with the bone thing that I say all the time, is your marketing and sales effort, whatever that might be, okay? If your marketing sales effort is going on Facebook, if your marketing and sales effort is networking, if your marketing and sales effort is whatever it is, whatever works for you, you need to carve out time in your busy schedule to dedicate to that, all right? Your business succeeds or fails based on how well you sell and market your business. If you are not selling and marketing it, that phone isn't going to ring. People are not going to come to your door. Build it and they will come is bullshit. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And especially nowadays when it is so overcrowded. There's so many industries, so many businesses and people out there that are doing the same thing as you are, or trying to make it look like they're doing the same thing you are, that you have so much competition that you can't afford not to spend some time. Now, what I always tell people, and I've said this, there's other videos that talk about this as well, is if you hired a salesperson, if you hired a marketing person, if you hired anybody to do the sales and marketing for your business, you wouldn't just hire them and send them on their way, right? You are going to sit down and have at least a 1 hour weekly meeting with them. You're going to check in and see what they're up to. You're going to check in and make sure that they're doing what they need to do. You're going to give them new information on a regular basis to kind of keep them updated and fresh, right? And if you've worked in an office, or you've worked, almost everybody's worked in another business, you know that there's always sort of that management sort of checks and balances thing. As a small home or solo business, you don't maybe have an employee, but that doesn't mean that you can't treat aspects of things in your business like they were an employee. So every week I set out at least 2 or 3 hours to sit down and work on marketing. Maybe it's an hour over 3 days. Maybe it's a block of time. I got a full day of not a lot going on, so I'm going to make the morning kind of be my marketing morning. Whatever it is, you need to carve out the time to sell and market your business. In order for that to be successful, everything that you send, so your sales and marketing is going to send them to your website. It's going to send them to your Patreon. It's going to send them wherever you need to go. You need to make sure that that final destination, i.e. your website, closes the sale, all right? Your sales and marketing is a tease to drive traffic somewhere. And most of us sell products and services off of our website. So you need to make sure that the product matches, sells them on it. You need to close the deal as far as who you are and why they should purchase. You need to really tell them who's ideal and right for you and why they need your products and services. And you can spend all of your time on social media. You can hire the greatest social media gurus, but if you send them to a website that has content that's a year old, that doesn't sell your business and has stock photos, then you've wasted that time. All right. And I think that's where everybody gets upset, is they don't understand the sort of domino effect things have. So if I spend time marketing and then it gets me nowhere because I don't see any return on my investment. Well, that's because your website freaking sucks. There's nothing on there to engage them. There's nothing on there to tell them about the products and services, nothing to tell them why they need it, how to purchase it, none of that. They don't know how to get in contact with you with questions. They don't know how to call you. So they're just going to move on to the next business, right? That just makes sense. We're all busy. Who's going to hang around and try to figure out, like Sherlock Holmes, how to contact this business when what they're selling is pretty close to what 5 other people are selling, and I can get in touch with them. So I know how to get in touch with them. That is the main problem. And I think that's where people come into problems with, I don't get the ROI I want. I'm not getting the returns. I'm not getting the business that I want. I can't grow my business because one of the dominoes has already fallen. And so when the others reach it, it's just a dead end. All right. So I'll tell you what I told Chad is you need to get your website in line. You need to spend some time working on that website. Like I said, what I do is sometimes if I need to do some writing or I need to do some things like, leave the office that hour before dinner while my husband's making dinner, I will spend time thinking, okay, this is what I want to write on my website. This is how I want to phrase it. Even if it was bullet points that I could give to a copywriter, that's a good use of my time. These are the phrases that we use. This is how we describe our products. This is how we describe our business. These are my selling points, my talking points. This is who my ideal consumer is, so that they have the meat and the potatoes that they can go off and create something new for you. But you need to spend your time on your website. You need to spend time working on a website so that you can get the return on your investment and everything can work seamlessly. They see a post, they go to your website, they get even more excited and engaged, and boom, they decide to come in, they decide to purchase, whatever. It is really that simple. It is totally that simple. All right, so I think that's about it. Poor Chad and his poor fucked up website. So hopefully, if you like this content, like and subscribe below, because the Small Business Talk Show is coming out every Wednesday. I'm going to shoot for every Wednesday. We were every other Wednesday there for a while. While you're here, check out the other things we have on YouTube right now. We're doing the 2-minute challenge, kind of some blue sky creative thinking ways to get you to thinking about your business. Consider this, where we kind of talk about moral and ethical issues that all small and home businesses face. A few minutes with E.A. Chad, just it's not really me bitching and moaning, but it's me bitching and moaning. Not really. They talk more about the abstract. There I kind of talk about the more abstract things that are facing, specific things that are facing small businesses, networking and social media and those kinds of things. So please, like and subscribe below. Just pop in and see some of the other videos. Join me on Patreon. We do a lot of stuff over there. We actually teach the skills and learning that you would need to do everything that we talk about here, actualize it, make it real. I think that's it. All right. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video, whichever one that is. I'm E.A. Chad. Have a great day.